Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me here at Sweetwater HQ to take a quick look over our brand new product, which is XL-Desk. My name is Andy, I'm over from headquarters in Oxford, UK, and I'm going to take you through it really quickly. So, XL-Desk, what is it? XL-Desk is a 100% pure analog SSL desk built for the modern professional project studio. All good engineers and producers know that having a genuine analog desk helps both sonically and ergonomically to get your project to where it needs to be a lot quicker than picking up a mouse and a keyboard and looking at a screen. So this is why we've designed XL-Desk. We've designed it to enable you to get the results quicker and faster and sound better than just what the DAW system alone can do for you. So bearing this in mind, let's have a quick look over some of the features of XL-Desk. First and foremost, XL-Desk can be used to deal with quite complex tracking and mixing sessions. So for this reason, we've started off with eight mic pre's right at the top. And now these are our VHD, variable harmonic drive mic preamplifiers. And they're capable of being either clean, traditional SSL, or you can use the harmonics to crunch up and add your own coloration, whether that's valve-like second harmonics or transistor-based third harmonics. Now, if you need more than 8 mic pre's, you can use the inbuilt 16+2 slot 500 series rack to add another 8 channels, for instance. We all have our favourite other manufacturers' mic pre's to bring different colour and different sounds to the party. Looking at the channels, we've got 16 mono channel strips, each with 2 inputs per strip. So you've got the mic pre's for the first input on the first 8 channels, and then you've got a line level input for your DAW returns for the second lot of inputs. The second lot of 8 channels has 2 line level inputs. So again, you could either use 500 series mic pre's or you could use external rack mount mic pre's to feed those sections. And then finally, we have 4 stereo channels at the end, which is great for keyboards and anything you want to split out of your DAW that's always going to be stereo. Working way down, you have a trim pot. One thing that's very important with SSL analog mixing is hitting your connected outboard at the right level. So we've got a dedicated plus minus 20 dBs trim for this. You have 2 insert points per strip. The first insert point is normally associated with the inbuilt 500 series rack. So on your first 16 channels, you press the 500 button and you bring in your processing from SSL or whatever manufacturer it is you've loaded this thing up with, and that brings it into the channel strip for processing. Secondly, you have another insert point which can be used to introduce rack mount, outboard gear, etc. We've got the auxiliary section here, which has 1 stereo auxiliary and 2 monos, all switchable between pre and post fader. And the alt function, which, like on many SSL analog desks, you can use to double your mix down analog input count. Below this, we have routing for 4 stereo mix buses. So one of the best things about mixing on SSL consoles is that you can bring things together in a mix and you can push the mix bus and you can get it to sit right at the right level. So we know this, and we know people like to do a lot of parallel compression. We know people like to do a lot of what we call grouped compression. So you route all your bass instruments to one bus, you route all your mids to another, multi-bus technique as some people call it. So this is why we put 4 stereo mix buses on this console, A, B, C and D, and every channel can route to none, 1 or all or 2 or 3 of these mix buses. Finally, importantly, we've got a heavy duty analog fader down at the bottom and solo and cut buttons as you'd expect. As I've already mentioned, the penthouse of XL-Desk includes an overspec'd 500 series 16+2 slot rack. We've got this one filled with SSL EQs. This could be whatever modules you already own. And then finally, the bus compressor fills the last 2 slots. Again, this can be swapped out, but what many people refer to as the glue, that is included as standard with every XL-Desk. Right hand section, you've got the master section controls. You've got a full monitoring section with 3 sets of speakers. We know that it's very important for people to listen to their mixes on varying systems, or a little Grot box or little iPod speakers. So you've got 3 stereo sets and a dedicated sub output with bass management which can work with any of those sets of speakers. You have your mix bus masters for B, C and D right here, and you've got your mix A master fader here. Now all of the mix B, C and D buses can feed into mix A for final summing on mix down. All of the mix buses have their dedicated own insert point, and one of the really clever things is that you have a 500 button for each of these mix buses. Now what that means is that slots 9 to 16 of this 500 rack, which would normally be associated with channels 9 to 16, can be stolen and used across the mix buses. So we know that people tend to have maybe a rack or two full of 500 series modules, so you can repurpose them over mix buses without having to go out and patch or anything like that. Really clever. Finally, we've got some dedicated stereo returns here and some solo master buttons for solo clear functions, etc. like that. Most importantly with this desk, because we've built it for the modern professional studio, we realised that you're still going to be working with the DAW, you still need to turn around projects really quickly. So for this reason, we've put direct outputs on every single path of this console, on the mono channels, on the stereo channels, on the mix buses, and on the effects returns. So this means that you can do what we call a one-pass print. So you get to the end of the session, you've got the mix mostly where it needs to be, but you might need to come back to it and do revisions. You can just do one record pass to get everything back in the DAW session for doing those endless mixes, mix recalls and all that kind of thing. So XL-Desk, this is it. It's happily to be used with a patch bay or without a patch bay. It's completely dependent on what you want to do. If you connect up to a patch bay, then we give you access to the ins and outs of the rack, which means you can patch between modules if you want to. So thank you very much for your time, and if you have any more questions, please pick up the phone and talk to your Sweetwater's sales engineer. They'll be happy to help with those. Thank you very much.